So security is a business issue, but business operate to make money, not just to be secure. A business is concerned with security only as long as it's threatening its money or its bottom line. It's critical for a security professional that we should understand that these individual threats are important to understand and how to calculate the risk with these threats and how to map them with business drivers. So mainly we have three critical tier if we talk about organization in accordance to risk management. We have our organizational tier which concern with risk to our business as a whole, which means it set important parameters such as risk tolerance level. Then we have business process tier, which deals with risk to the major function of the organization, such as defining the criticality of information flow between the organization and its partner or customers. Third one is information system tier. It addresses risk from information security perspective. So carrying out risk management properly means that you have a holistic understanding of your organization, the threat it faces, the countermeasures that can put into place to deal with those threats and how to contain them. We have information system risk management policy. So a proper risk management require a strong commitment from senior management. We should understand this point. Senior management commitment is always required for information security. If we see we don't have proper commitment of management, in most of the time we see the organization has a weak overall information security policies as well as its implementation. So information security has to be take top to bottom approach. The information security risk management policy should be a subset of organization's overall risk management policy. The security, information system risk management policy provide the foundation and direction for the organization security risk management process and procedures and should address all issue of information security. Then we have our risk management team. So who all should be part of our risk management team? So the answer is it's depend because each organization is different in its size, security posture, threat profile, and security budget. Depending on company size, one may have a single individual or a complete team that work in a coordinated manner. The overall goal of the team should be to ensure the company asset is protected in most cost effective manner because let's understand business is running to make money and management must dedicated fund to make sure that organization have necessary tools as well as trainings to mitigate overall organization risk. We have threat modeling. So what is threat modeling? So basically, threat modeling is a process by which potential threats are identified. We mainly have four various methodology for threat modeling. I'll not go into nitty-gritty of these models. So threat modeling is a risk-based approach to designing a secure system. It is based on identifying threat in order to develop mitigation strategy. In our day-to-day life also, we do a lot of threat modeling, like whether we think I should walk at a lonely street at night in which we don't have light, and whether I speed up my car in a crowded market. So these all are the threat modeling which we do in our mind. So typically, threat modeling is again mainly related. It can come into a lot of environment, but we initially the concept was originated for software security, and in case of software development phase, it comes at the design phase. So mainly we have three approaches to do the threat modeling. We have attacker centric. Here our focus is on attacker itself and what methodology an attacker can use. We have system or software centric, in which focus is on software or system which organizations are building, like what vulnerability and weakness they can have during design or coding phase. The third approach is based on asset centric, in which focus is mainly on the asset which the organizations are protecting. So mainly these are some of the major steps which are involved into overall threat modeling, in which firstly we enumerate or identify our target system asset. We review the data and the overall process flow. Third step is we identify most relevant threat actors. Fourth one is we identify most relevant threats. Then we do evaluation and prioritization of risk as well as associated threats. We check whether we have existing security controls and countermeasures to mitigate this threat. Then we prioritize our mitigation step and we recommend or place our relevant security controls. So security, the question is within the organization, who should be responsible for security? Typically, everyone in the organization should be responsible for security. Especially humans are the weakest link in overall organization security. We can have our best of breed policies, best of breed firewalls, best of breed IPS, best of breed endpoint protection, or email security, but human beings are the weakest link. Especially in an organizations, we have people who have some exceptional people who have entire privileges within the organization. Those people are at high risk. So lot of emphasis should be given for security, about security awareness to end users, since these are our weakest link in overall security strategy. Then we have this is a brief overview. Secure, what should be the security, or what typically we see the security responsibility within the organization. On top of the hierarchy, we mainly have the CEO. Some organization have a dedicated CISO and a CIO, which look overall company information strategy. In some organization, we have our CEO to whom the CIO is reporting. Then we have our CISO. CISO is mainly the Chief Information Security Officer. So this gentleman or this lady is responsible for company's overall information security, be it your network security or your IoT security also. So here we can see some trend typically. Again, it's a political thing in a company to whom the CISO report. But as per most of the time or most of the trend we can see in 33% of case the CISO report to CIO and in 17% case the CIO themselves are a CISO. So lot of permutation and combination. I'll cover a slide in which we can see what are the benefit of various reporting mechanism of CISO to various business heads. So this is the slide in which we can see the CISO is reporting to a CIO, the CISO is reporting to CFO or to different board directly. What are the benefits associated with this and what are the risks associated with this? I'll not go into nitty-gritty since we don't have a fixed formula and it depends on the business requirement. But mainly what I have seen, CISO either report to the CIO or the CIO himself or herself take the responsibility of CISO also. And most of the time, the CIO is reporting to the CEO. It's a political thing again. So over the year, as we can see, attacks are getting more sophisticated. So obviously, organizations are also putting a lot of money to secure their infra. Since any major attack on their infrastructure can have major impact on their reputation, their client can move away from. And in few cases, they can have huge penalty because of various compliance. Like we have GDPR, PCI also have some penalties. Similarly, for medical field, HIPAA compliance also has penalties. So security is, we should understand, security is should be part of overall organization. And whenever we are developing any new software or any product, we should involve InfoSec people right at the beginning phase. Since if we will involve InfoSec people at the design phase, the cost to security will be lesser. If we are involving our security people once the product is ready, then obviously cost to secure the product or software will be high. And overall, the security will not be incorporated into the DNA of that software or product. So we have to release a lot of fixes and patches in order to secure it. But we can see global trend is year by year security budget is increasing, which is a good thing for cyber security fraternity. In case of information security, or in case of any organization, they make their long-term vision or plans. They make their short-term plans and operational plans also. Similarly, for information security, we have strategic plans, which are mainly long-term plans, which in an average cover a viewpoint from 4 to 5 years as what will be overall planning or policy of an organization within 4 to 5 years down the lane. We have tactical plan. Mainly their time frame is within a year or 6 months. Accordingly, we create our InfoSec plan. Then the third one is operational plan. They have our strategy to cater our day-to-day business operation and how we can secure our day-to-day operations.